What's up, everybody? Suburban Legend here, and let's talk about the push to make violent video games illegal. Now, I touched on this briefly in a recent commentary, but it's only going to get worse and worse. You're going to hear many more cries from the media, especially the media is really going to lead the push on this charge. And I really came across a very biased article last week that I wanted to share with you guys. And here we go. This particular article was posted in the New York Daily News, and they're the ones that broke this story. And it's just got such a stupid twist to it. I wanted to just kind of point it out to you guys and keep you in the loop with what you're going to be seeing over the next couple of years, I'm sure, as the media continues its push to ban violent video games and violence in movies and things like that. So first things first is, yes, this is about the Sandy Hook shooting, the killer Adam Lanza. They finally released some of the details of what they found in this kid's house and on his hard drive. And what they found on his hard drive was a huge spreadsheet that he had made detailing meticulously all of the violent killings that have taken place around the world over the last, 10, 15 years. And they said this spreadsheet was massive. They had to take it down to a print shop and upload it on a special printer. And this piece of paper came out 7 feet long by 4 feet wide. Now, the problem with today's media and the 24-hour news cycle is that these stations and these websites, they constantly have to have something to talk about. They have to be pushing some new ideas or breaking a new story. So, with that being said, they just can't take no for an answer. They can't let things be as it may, and that, the fact that some deranged serial killer, absolute psychopath, did something extremely evil, and we'll never know why he did it. Nobody knows what was going on in that kid's head. What could have been done to prevent it? That's all just hearsay from here on out. We'll never know anymore. It's in the past. It's over. It's done with. It's a terrible tragedy that happened, but we'll never exactly know what was going on inside this kid's head. But nevertheless, the media has to spin this some way. So what are they going to do? Oh, kid, shooter, must have been from violent video games. So what they're saying is, and this is a quote from the article I read, is that they don't believe this was just a spreadsheet. They believe it was a score sheet. This was the work of a video gamer, and that it was his intent to put his own name at the very top of that list. They believe that he picked an elementary school because he felt it was the point of least resistance where he could rack up the greatest number of kills. That's what the Connecticut police believe. So as if that weren't bad enough, they go on. They say, we have pictures of this kid from 2 years ago all strapped up with weapons, posing with a pistol to his head. That's the thing that you have to understand. He had this laid out for years before. So now they're saying that he was essentially a loner who sat in his dark room all day playing violent video games and then had the urge to try and put his name on the top of the leaderboard. I think what the media really needs to do is turn around and point a finger at itself. One of the police officers interviewed in this article, refused to even mention the killer by name because he said, I don't want to give this kid 1 ounce of recognition for the terrible thing he did. Essentially saying, inferring that the reason people do things like this is because of the amount of media coverage it gets. I mean, go around the United States and mention the name Adam Lanza. You'll be hard-pressed to find someone right now who doesn't know what that kid is. That's the reason he did this killing. He had nothing to live for, and he wanted to go out and essentially make his name known worldwide because of the amount of media coverage it gets. If the media would stop sensationalizing these terrible tragedies and continually talking about it for months and months and years, and the media is the one who originally developed this concept of a leaderboard, killer leaderboard. They are always ranking the second most deadliest U.S. shooting or the most deadliest U.S. shooting since the Virginia Tech scandal. And why are we comparing these things? This is not a competition. The media should. In an ideal world, obviously this is never going to happen because the media is driven by ratings, and terrible shooting stories like this are always the ones that get the most ratings. But seriously, the media needs to just stop covering this crap. If nobody covered these stories, you wouldn't see them happening anymore, because what's the point of doing it? What's the point of going out slaughtering all these children if you're going to get no name recognition afterwards? That's the only reason he did this. He wanted his name to get known, and it's an absolutely terrible thing. So I mean, the article just keeps getting worse and worse. It says that if it weren't for games like Call of Duty, he wouldn't have known some of the tactics he employed during the shooting, such as the tactical reload, where when he was leaving from one classroom to the next, he would reload his magazine even if he had bullets in the clip. And when his strap broke on his assault rifle, he switched to his pistol. And the guy said that's something you only learn in advanced police training. Anyone with a mind knows that. You know, if your strap breaks and your gun falls to the ground, grab your other gun. I mean, that's stupid. Not anyone with a brain would do something senseless and stupid like this, but you know what I'm saying. It's not something he only learned because he played Call of Duty. That link there is just way too broad, and it's just an evidence of the bias going around in the media right now to try and demonize not only all gun owners but also video gamers as well. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Another thing is that they need to realize, like they said in the article, this kid had obviously been planning a massacre for years, and he would have figured out a way to carry out his evil plan even if he didn't have access to a gun or an AR-15 or a handgun. You could have made every gun in the world illegal, and this kid still would have figured out a way to carry out his evil plan. I mean, the names on his list, not all 500 names were people that used guns. So first of all, why do you instantly make the assumption that, you know, he was fixated with guns? I'm sure he had the Oklahoma City bomber on there who didn't use a gun, things like that too. So if this kid spent every waking moment of his life that he wasn't at school compiling this list and coming up with this master plan for destruction and death, are you telling me that even if all guns were illegal, he couldn't have figured out how to make a bomb or an explosive or a poison or something else to still carry out his plan? I mean, it's stupid to think that, you know, any type of gun law would have prevented a tragedy like this. Yeah, he wouldn't have had a gun, but he would have used something else. He would have figured out a way to get it. And even if guns are illegal, criminals will still have guns. There's still a thing known as the black market, illegal firearms, everything. So just wanted to point out some of the bias going around in the media nowadays, trying to demonize video gamers like you and I. So feel free to leave any comments down below, and I'll be sure to respond.